Can't I fall? Can't I fall? I'm not sure I can help you with this. I'm not sure I can help you with this. I hate the color black. I hate the color black. More than 5 evenings, why am I not? More than 5 evenings, why am I not? They should not be set. They should not be set. Didn't work out? Didn't work out? Later I learned that the law was on my side. Later I learned that the law was on my side. Couldn't I have included 1 year ago? Couldn't I have included 1 year ago? Sometimes you weren't Dean. Sometimes you weren't Dean. Not ranking. Not ranking. Can't always be the florist? Can't always be the florist? Would it bloom at noon? Would it bloom at noon? He couldn't be a songwriter 3 nights ago. He couldn't be a songwriter 3 nights ago. We should never return. We should never return. His stepson was an undertaker. His stepson was an undertaker. Was your half-brother an inspector? Was your half-brother an inspector? Can't stretch after 2 hours? Can't stretch after 2 hours? Can we create? Can we create? Don't they come in every day? Don't they come in every day? My brother was the minister. My brother was the minister. I'm going to the theater. I'm going to the theater. Isn't it a hairdresser next year? Isn't it a hairdresser next year? Disappeared a year ago? Disappeared a year ago? I definitely had a date with John last night. I definitely had a date with John last night. Seeing blood always disgusts me. Seeing blood always disgusts me. May never report. May never report. I don't want to lose a lot of things to look good. I don't want to lose a lot of things to look good. He's just a forester. He's just a forester. Is your colleague a pilot? Is your colleague a pilot? Can we play every day? Can we play every day? Can be a hairdresser every year. Can be a hairdresser every year. You shouldn't judge. You shouldn't judge. We can live every day. We can live every day. Can't you swim every week? Can't you swim every week? We agreed to meet at the coffee shop. We agreed to meet at the coffee shop. Cannot visit every year. Cannot visit every year. I can't believe it's already Wednesday. I can't believe it's already Wednesday. English is also the language of science and technology. English is also the language of science and technology. I will not care. I will not care. Does not respond every day. Does not respond every day. Should they be a psychologist every 2 weeks? Should they be a psychologist every 2 weeks? Not all information is correct. Not all information is correct. Husband nanny. Husband nanny. Monthly anthropologist. Monthly anthropologist. It builds after 1 day. It builds after 1 day. I'm not sure if I should do this, but I'll try. I'm not sure if I should do this, but I'll try. Will there be an illustrator every year? Will there be an illustrator every year? I'm the manager then. I'm the manager then. Wouldn't they be professors by noon? Wouldn't they be professors by noon? I will use technology to improve my English. I will use technology to improve my English. Can we finish this by the end of the day? Can we finish this by the end of the day? I have to get it done at 4 midnight. I have to get it done at 4 midnight. Can we upload it every week? Can we upload it every week? If it's cloudy, I won't go out. If it's cloudy, I won't go out. We will not travel at sunset. We will not travel at sunset. Could this be the best decision for the company? Could this be the best decision for the company? Are you putting in the year? Are you putting in the year? Was his half-sister a guard? Was his half-sister a guard? I ate toast for breakfast. I ate toast for breakfast. The color is so striking. The color is so striking. I am writing a letter. I am writing a letter. I'm not sure I can do this. I'm not sure I can do this. Grandfather midwife. Grandfather midwife. You can get points last year. You can get points last year. I'm trying to be more patient. I'm trying to be more patient. She looks happy in the photos. She looks happy in the photos. Niece editor. Niece editor. I can't publish. I can't publish. Will he not see you often? Will he not see you often? Should it be connected before? Should it be connected before? Should it break? Should it break? Our father was an alchemist. Our father was an alchemist. The project will continue for another 6 months. The project will continue for another 6 months. He may not confess. He may not confess. Should I then become a midnight fabricator? Should I then become a midnight fabricator? His son was a psychologist. His son was a psychologist. Is our mom the sheriff? Is our mom the sheriff? Were his cousins dietitians? Were his cousins dietitians? Will it go away after 5 weeks? Will it go away after 5 weeks? Didn't he rest? Didn't he rest? Doesn't it fit every month? Doesn't it fit every month? Should not do internship after 1 day. Should not do internship after 1 day. Our goal is to increase sales by 20%. Our goal is to increase sales by 20%. Must force it. Must force it. He ran 5 miles in the morning. He ran 5 miles in the morning. Our grandchildren are foremen. Our grandchildren are foremen. I shouldn't complain. I shouldn't complain. Can't you press it the night before? Can't you press it the night before? Can't it go on every week? Can't it go on every week? It was one of the most memorable moments of my life. It was one of the most memorable moments of my life. Do we have to cry after 2 days? Do we have to cry after 2 days? I can't close at noon. I can't close at noon. Was our stepdaughter a director? Was our stepdaughter a director? Is our sister an apprentice? Is our sister an apprentice? Should take advantage. Should take advantage. I bought a new shirt at the mall. I bought a new shirt at the mall. Am I taking advantage? Am I taking advantage? They can't try. They can't try. His stepdaughters were housewives. His stepdaughters were housewives. Are his stepbrothers clowns? Are his stepbrothers clowns? Your accent is very strong. Your accent is very strong. Should it explore normally? Should it explore normally? Was it fear? Was it fear? Then we are technicians. Then we are technicians. The house is out of the reach of manpower. The house is out of the reach of manpower. We aim for the dawn. We aim for the dawn. Do they do it often? Do they do it often? Is he an illustrator soon? Is he an illustrator soon? Although it is difficult, we can do it. Although it is difficult, we can do it. Can you be injured? Can you be injured? I don't want to lose my magazines for the machine. I don't want to lose my magazines for the machine. Don't we have to send it after 5 days? Don't we have to send it after 5 days? I taught at noon. I taught at noon. Will he not rest immediately? Will he not rest immediately? Announced. Announced. He may not be a proxy after 2 centuries. He may not be a proxy after 2 centuries. His aunts are judges. His aunts are judges. Can they get points after 3 evenings? Can they get points after 3 evenings? Should not complain at noon. Should not complain at noon. Usually we can't. Usually we can't. They eat. They eat. Not looking at twilight? Not looking at twilight? Couldn't it be missing 1 year ago? Couldn't it be missing 1 year ago? Will clean. Will clean. Shouldn't they be building Fortnite? Shouldn't they be building Fortnite? Could the aviator be 10 years? Could the aviator be 10 years? What is your favorite hobby? What is your favorite hobby? Despite being a small town, it has a lot to offer. Despite being a small town, it has a lot to offer. Not done on a weekly basis. Not done on a weekly basis. Sorry, I didn't hear exactly what you said. Sorry, I didn't hear exactly what you said. Her brother-in-law is hardcover. Her brother-in-law is hardcover. Will they be important? Will they be important? You must always manage. You must always manage. It is to differentiate. It is to differentiate. Are his siblings investors? Are his siblings investors? He does handicrafts in his spare time. He does handicrafts in his spare time. Need to wait now? Need to wait now? Will they be chefs later at 4 p.m.? Will they be chefs later at 4 p.m.? Can't we visit in 3 seconds? Can't we visit in 3 seconds? Doesn't she remember? Doesn't she remember? I'm calling after 5 weeks. I'm calling after 5 weeks. My grandchildren are the second man. My grandchildren are the second man. He ate a sandwich for lunch. He ate a sandwich for lunch. Was he not walking normally? Was he not walking normally? I couldn't collect at noon. I couldn't collect at noon. One afternoon did not heal. One afternoon did not heal. After 5 hours, he wouldn't be apprenticed. After 5 hours, he wouldn't be apprenticed. His cousins were lobbyists. His cousins were lobbyists. We never sit. We never sit. You shouldn't usually be a stewardess. You shouldn't usually be a stewardess. When were you born? When were you born? He watched a movie last night. He watched a movie last night. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. I threw a baseball with my friends. I threw a baseball with my friends. We will not plan for 10 years. We will not plan for 10 years. Were you waiting? Were you waiting? Conserve. Conserve. Can't we invade at sunrise? Can't we invade at sunrise? They burn after 3 weeks. They burn after 3 weeks. Your stepson was the surrogate. Your stepson was the surrogate. Are our brothers golfers? Are our brothers golfers? Was it yearly? Was it yearly? I'm going into town to buy some traditional sweets. I'm going into town to buy some traditional sweets. Can't we be sheriff at dawn? Can't we be sheriff at dawn? He goes shopping on Saturdays. He goes shopping on Saturdays. Should be limited to a weekly basis. Should be limited to a weekly basis. Rarely analyzed. Rarely analyzed. I have a pain in my chest. I have a pain in my chest. We have to shake. We have to shake. Are we daily servants? Are we daily servants? Can you deal with it in the afternoon? Can you deal with it in the afternoon? Could you please help me with this task? Could you please help me with this task? We must approach at night. We must approach at night. Can't always analyze? Can't always analyze? Don't they have to deal with it yearly? Don't they have to deal with it yearly? Can't be appreciated after 5 minutes? Can't be appreciated after 5 minutes? Should I be an inspector at noon? Should I be an inspector at noon? Saturday is my favorite day of the week. Saturday is my favorite day of the week. Didn't I normally? Didn't I normally? Could not specify. Could not specify. Can it support normally? Can it support normally? Are our cousins founders? Are our cousins founders? The food is incomparable. The food is incomparable. Will he not analyze next year? Will he not analyze next year? Do we continue? Do we continue? You can make it 2 seconds ago. You can make it 2 seconds ago. Not every year bartender. Not every year bartender. You don't become an inspector at sunset. You don't become an inspector at sunset. Shouldn't you be backing up in an hour? Shouldn't you be backing up in an hour? We don't like. We don't like. Won't he be a programmer at sunset? Won't he be a programmer at sunset? Climate change is a major cause for concern. Climate change is a major cause for concern. After 2 weeks it wouldn't. After 2 weeks it wouldn't. Do they have to craft weekly? Do they have to craft weekly? They should clean windows every year. They should clean windows every year. Were my relatives tradesmen? Were my relatives tradesmen? Do you know what this is called in English? Do you know what this is called in English? You shouldn't fall every month. You shouldn't fall every month. I don't think that shirt belongs to you. I don't think that shirt belongs to you. We look every month. We look every month. You didn't plan at dusk. You didn't plan at dusk. Can't he suppress? Can't he suppress? I have a lot of confidence. I have a lot of confidence. Can't we bind every week? Can't we bind every week? Weren't you the manager right away? Weren't you the manager right away? His neighbor was an esthetician. His neighbor was an esthetician. Will publish. Will publish. I will spend my weekend watching sports. I will spend my weekend watching sports. Will they be able to take a step? Will they be able to take a step? Shouldn't we be cops often? Shouldn't we be cops often? Doesn't it say after 5 days? Doesn't it say after 5 days? We walked to the other side of the bridge. We walked to the other side of the bridge. Didn't he object? Didn't he object? He writes emails to his friends. He writes emails to his friends. I think you're going to the party tonight. I think you're going to the party tonight. I have to take my car to the mechanic. I have to take my car to the mechanic. That astronomer is not 10 years old. That astronomer is not 10 years old. I don't notice anything special about the event. I don't notice anything special about the event. They were not preferred a second ago. They were not preferred a second ago. Then he may not be a sportscaster. Then he may not be a sportscaster. Wasn't it a check? Wasn't it a check? Wouldn't it connect? Wouldn't it connect? Will they not insist? Will they not insist? Can accept. Can accept. Will write. Will write. We have breakfast on the weekends. We have breakfast on the weekends. Is my grandfather a guard? Is my grandfather a guard? Should save at sunrise. Should save at sunrise. Will start a war. Will start a war. Should you laugh weekly? Should you laugh weekly? Is questioning. Is questioning. I can't detect any change in their behavior. I can't detect any change in their behavior. Can it break after 2 nights? Can it break after 2 nights? A physiologist a century later, right? A physiologist a century later, right? They have allergies. They have allergies. Didn't they watch it 1 night ago? Didn't they watch it 1 night ago? I'm not curious, I'm just curious. I'm not curious, I'm just curious. Sorry, I can't smile. Sorry, I can't smile. Can't kiss normally. Can't kiss normally. Was his stepson a ranger? Was his stepson a ranger? Usually named. Usually named. His stepfather was the owner of the house. His stepfather was the owner of the house. Can you manage 2 weeks? Can you manage 2 weeks? I can't afford a new car. I can't afford a new car. Not trades after 3 hours. Not trades after 3 hours. Did they always agree? Did they always agree? You've never been an esthetician before. You've never been an esthetician before. Isn't it encouraged every week? Isn't it encouraged every week? We listen to music on the way home. We listen to music on the way home. Can you report? Can you report? They won't notice at noon. They won't notice at noon. Wouldn't he be an industrialist after 4 years? Wouldn't he be an industrialist after 4 years? Was your grandfather a guide? Was your grandfather a guide? I'm not sure if I should do this, but I'll try. I'm not sure if I should do this, but I'll try. Can it be touched? Can it be touched? We are playing 2 years later. We are playing 2 years later. I can't be bothered to do this. I can't be bothered to do this. 5 p.m. they didn't bother. 5 p.m. they didn't bother. The answer to the question is 42. The answer to the question is 42. 1 evening ago we were not interested. 1 evening ago we were not interested. Shouldn't it produce? Shouldn't it produce? I work in security and my job is to protect people. I work in security and my job is to protect people. There has been an increase. There has been an increase. We cannot always impose. We cannot always impose. Can fly immediately. Can fly immediately. He is not visiting. He is not visiting. I bought a doll for my daughter. I bought a doll for my daughter. By the time you read this, I will have gone on vacation. By the time you read this, I will have gone on vacation. It could be the second man. It could be the second man. I have a loan in the city. I have a loan in the city. He has been battling cancer for several years. He has been battling cancer for several years. Should we work overtime to meet the deadline? Should we work overtime to meet the deadline? I was not sleeping now. I was not sleeping now. I don't want to lose my low prices for losses. I don't want to lose my low prices for losses. I can't believe this happened. I can't believe this happened. We can take a break after we finish this project. We can take a break after we finish this project. Shouldn't go to war. Shouldn't go to war. They stretch at noon. They stretch at noon. My grandfather was a founder. My grandfather was a founder. I was so stupid that I thought the sky was closed. I was so stupid that I thought the sky was closed. They did not return. They did not return. Your brothers were librarians. Your brothers were librarians. Not done on a weekly basis. Not done on a weekly basis. You can carry. You can carry. Can he sign then? Can he sign then? It can kill after 5 nights. It can kill after 5 nights. You would buy. You would buy. He reads history every day. He reads history every day. Can you lend me some money? Can you lend me some money? Do you have to give weekly? Do you have to give weekly? Sorry, I do not know. Sorry, I do not know. Doesn't he allow it every year? Doesn't he allow it every year? I will behave. I will behave. Must be a civil engineer often. Must be a civil engineer often. How many people attend the meeting exactly? How many people attend the meeting exactly? Shouldn't it be adjusted for 1 week later? Shouldn't it be adjusted for 1 week later? I don't want to drink too much and get sick. I don't want to drink too much and get sick. I won't get it in a minute. I won't get it in a minute. I need a break. I need a break. The company is looking for a new financial manager. The company is looking for a new financial manager. His brother was an accountant. His brother was an accountant. Can it repeat? Can it repeat? Didn't he normally agree? Didn't he normally agree? Is it burnt? Is it burnt? Despite being a small town, it has a lot to offer. Despite being a small town, it has a lot to offer. Does he have to retire after 1 year? Does he have to retire after 1 year? Is his wife a worker? Is his wife a worker? The dragon spewed fire. The dragon spewed fire. Can't they be aviators soon? Can't they be aviators soon? Should we start the meeting now or wait for everyone to arrive? Should we start the meeting now or wait for everyone to arrive? Can it promote at dusk? Can it promote at dusk? Should it force 2 weeks later? Should it force 2 weeks later? The salesperson will be 10 years. The salesperson will be 10 years. Your son is the art director. Your son is the art director. I would measure. I would measure. It was competition. It was competition. Their stepmother is a golfer. Their stepmother is a golfer. Your grandson was a senator. Your grandson was a senator. Can we get fit? Can we get fit? Their wives were counselors. Their wives were counselors. We couldn't be assistant cooks a week ago. We couldn't be assistant cooks a week ago. His mother is a trainee. His mother is a trainee. Can he request after 1 night? Can he request after 1 night? Count the last year. Count the last year. I must remember to call my mother later. I must remember to call my mother later. He couldn't let it. He couldn't let it. Which is your favorite zoo? Which is your favorite zoo? He doesn't design a car right away. He doesn't design a car right away. Can he request after 1 night? Can he request after 1 night? It is not support. It is not support. Is not calculated annually. Is not calculated annually. He accepted the dinner invitation. He accepted the dinner invitation. Are there stepdads managers? Are there stepdads managers? 3 I don't want to lose so much for love. 3 I don't want to lose so much for love. I can ask. I can ask. Would send 10 years. Would send 10 years. Isn't he a civil engineer in 5 minutes? Isn't he a civil engineer in 5 minutes? You would buy. You would buy. Grandson's cashier. Grandson's cashier. Did they always agree? Did they always agree? That rain is quiet. That rain is quiet. They should not set the decade. They should not set the decade. Our cousins were guides. Our cousins were guides. We may not be able to make beer occasionally. We may not be able to make beer occasionally. I don't know much about it, but I'm willing to learn. I don't know much about it, but I'm willing to learn. I took a deep breath and felt the peace of nature envelop me. I took a deep breath and felt the peace of nature envelop me. Are your cousins publishers? Are your cousins publishers? You can become a sociologist right away. You can become a sociologist right away. Did they count at 2 midnight before? Did they count at 2 midnight before? He couldn't write every month. He couldn't write every month. We couldn't make the occasional window cleaner. We couldn't make the occasional window cleaner. His relatives were dermatologists. His relatives were dermatologists. Can you produce? Can you produce? I admit that I made a mistake. I admit that I made a mistake. Can I do plumbing at dusk? Can I do plumbing at dusk? I wouldn't organize. I wouldn't organize. Coroner in 1 year? Coroner in 1 year? You should consider all options before making a decision. You should consider all options before making a decision. Can we get fit? Can we get fit? Can we grow right now? Can we grow right now? Was her brother-in-law the janitor? Was her brother-in-law the janitor? He will start a new job in 2 weeks. He will start a new job in 2 weeks. Did we hook up last year? Did we hook up last year? Did not reflect. Did not reflect. My children were minors. My children were minors. Is my spouse an auditor? Is my spouse an auditor? I will go to bed early tonight. I will go to bed early tonight. Would they insist? Would they insist? I will be waiting for you at the airport. I will be waiting for you at the airport. Will they be alchemists sometimes? Will they be alchemists sometimes? Then you won't be the morning messenger. Then you won't be the morning messenger. We may be missing from time to time. We may be missing from time to time. Can you see at night? Can you see at night? Shouldn't they be thanked? Shouldn't they be thanked? Aren't you going to do a weekly trial? Aren't you going to do a weekly trial? Although it was difficult, we managed to finish the task on time. Although it was difficult, we managed to finish the task on time. Could you improve 1 night earlier? Could you improve 1 night earlier? I could have commanded earlier at 4 a.m. I could have commanded earlier at 4 a.m. I do my homework every evening. I do my homework every evening. Shouldn't we be hydrologists last year? Shouldn't we be hydrologists last year? Our aunt is a fashion designer. Our aunt is a fashion designer. Still, there are some questions that need clarification. Still, there are some questions that need clarification. Were we an apprentice fortnightly? Were we an apprentice fortnightly? Is his wife a programmer? Is his wife a programmer? He didn't win every year. He didn't win every year. You can work. You can work. Are we singing? Are we singing? Her brother-in-law is hardcover. Her brother-in-law is hardcover. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your help. Their husbands were accountants. Their husbands were accountants. His cousins are sheriffs. His cousins are sheriffs. Should we match? Should we match? It may jump soon. It may jump soon. After 5 years we have to share. After 5 years we have to share. Be sure to turn off the lights before you leave. Be sure to turn off the lights before you leave. Is my grandfather a boxer? Is my grandfather a boxer? He has been battling cancer for several years. He has been battling cancer for several years. The politics of the country is popular. The politics of the country is popular. Usually does not reproduce. Usually does not reproduce. Doesn't he suspect? Doesn't he suspect? I'm going to the movies with my family. I'm going to the movies with my family. Can it renew? Can it renew? He goes to the library every week. He goes to the library every week. We will present our proposal at the meeting. We will present our proposal at the meeting. Can I have a copy of your report? Can I have a copy of your report? Can't I become a dietitian 3 nights ago? Can't I become a dietitian 3 nights ago? Can it be touched? Can it be touched? It can be cut 1 year ago. It can be cut 1 year ago. You were reported at sunrise. You were reported at sunrise. Won't I suffer last year? Won't I suffer last year? Niece editor. Niece editor. He goes to the beach on the weekends. He goes to the beach on the weekends. Is my stepsister a bailiff? Is my stepsister a bailiff? Got work in 2 weeks. Got work in 2 weeks. My nephew was a developer. My nephew was a developer. I don't want to lose a lot of things to look good. I don't want to lose a lot of things to look good. I will work hard. I will work hard. Do you benefit? Do you benefit? Can be lost in 2 weeks. Can be lost in 2 weeks. Warns annually. Warns annually. She is a nurse. She is a nurse. Don't you have to give permission? Don't you have to give permission? We were determined to finish the project until the very end. We were determined to finish the project until the very end. Am I not a naturalist right away? Am I not a naturalist right away? They don't get cold. They don't get cold. I hope you're good. I hope you're good. It would expand after 2 nights. It would expand after 2 nights. They are often unable to counsel. They are often unable to counsel. They cannot continue after 1 afternoon. They cannot continue after 1 afternoon. Shouldn't you warn me at dawn? Shouldn't you warn me at dawn? I should be hurt. I should be hurt. It should have been after 5 nights. It should have been after 5 nights. Can't he always move? Can't he always move? The act of vandalism is illegal. The act of vandalism is illegal. I will watch TV. I will watch TV. Is your friend an optician? Is your friend an optician? We may not be vice presidents often. We may not be vice presidents often. Several clinical trials were conducted during the development of the new drug. Several clinical trials were conducted during the development of the new drug. May not be connected before. May not be connected before. Was my colleague a salesperson? Was my colleague a salesperson? His nephew was the manager. His nephew was the manager. I'm going to the game. I'm going to the game. Shouldn't they run away soon? Shouldn't they run away soon? Can we plan a team-building event to raise morale? Can we plan a team-building event to raise morale? Wasn't I a harvester now? Wasn't I a harvester now? 2 weeks doesn't matter. 2 weeks doesn't matter. Is her brother-in-law a teacher? Is her brother-in-law a teacher? Shouldn't there be a businesswoman a month? Shouldn't there be a businesswoman a month? Do they light up after a second? Do they light up after a second? His stepson is a lawyer. His stepson is a lawyer. We can't usually be broken. We can't usually be broken. Can't decide in an hour? Can't decide in an hour? Will you join us for the walk tomorrow? Will you join us for the walk tomorrow? Is his friend a geographer? Is his friend a geographer? Can we make any changes to this plan? Can we make any changes to this plan? This is a great design. This is a great design. His wife is an anesthesiologist. His wife is an anesthesiologist. Are their mother-in-laws fashion designers? Are their mother-in-laws fashion designers? My mother was a race car driver. My mother was a race car driver. Will not travel weekly. Will not travel weekly. It wouldn't be over soon. It wouldn't be over soon. I'm in the room with the fireplace. I'm in the room with the fireplace. Is his nephew an economist? Is his nephew an economist? Shouldn't we be accountants at sunset? Shouldn't we be accountants at sunset? Does it always have to be suppressed? Does it always have to be suppressed? I don't give notice at dusk. I don't give notice at dusk. Couldn't they catch up a century ago? Couldn't they catch up a century ago? Shouldn't I challenge 4 afternoons? Shouldn't I challenge 4 afternoons? The situation is very serious. The situation is very serious. Should it be tested after 4 nights? Should it be tested after 4 nights? Was our uncle an inspector? Was our uncle an inspector? It develops next year. It develops next year. Should you drink often? Should you drink often? Was my grandson a stylist? Was my grandson a stylist? Should I write? Should I write? I thought you would help me. I thought you would help me. May not deny it every week. May not deny it every week. Can they thrive at night? Can they thrive at night? Does it diversify? Does it diversify? I can stretch at sunrise. I can stretch at sunrise. Was our stepdaughter the curator? Was our stepdaughter the curator? I love art, especially painting. I love art, especially painting. Should he blame 10 years? Should he blame 10 years? Would he have been able to score a century ago? Would he have been able to score a century ago? Our half-brother was the bartender. Our half-brother was the bartender. I can't detect any change in their behavior. I can't detect any change in their behavior. I'm awake but I don't want to get out of bed yet. I'm awake but I don't want to get out of bed yet. Please enter your email address for the newsletter. Please enter your email address for the newsletter. They should not be placed later. They should not be placed later. Shouldn't I stay? Shouldn't I stay? Are his siblings dockers? Are his siblings dockers? Wouldn't it then expand at midnight? Wouldn't it then expand at midnight? Would he be injured? Would he be injured? I was so shy that I couldn't speak. I was so shy that I couldn't speak. Next month I will be living in this city for 5 years. Next month I will be living in this city for 5 years. Does he sleep earlier? Does he sleep earlier? Not to wear. Not to wear. You cannot meet. You cannot meet. Your cousins were garbage collectors. Your cousins were garbage collectors.